Joe Rogan has just reacted to the aftermath of Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, and suddenly this fight isn't just about wins and losses anymore. It's about damage, because what went down in that ring shocked everyone.
But bro, like no one expected him to last 6 rounds with AJ. In my opinion, he won 4 of them. So people will argue that he at least won 3. No one expected him to last that long. Rolled his ankle, broke his jaw, still fucking fighting, man. Like, that's toughness. You know, most people wouldn't have the balls ever to step in a boxing ring to bring in their life. He stepped in a boxing ring with one of the baddest men on the planet, who's 40 pounds heavier than him and 6 inches taller. That's insane. He's one of the most skilled fighters on the planet. My brother, as a fucking YouTuber, went 6 rounds with him in a fight with a broken jaw and rolled ankle.
This is a terrifying human being. You take a guy who just had a boxing match that looks like a sparring match with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, and then you're going to fight one of the absolute scariest knockout artists in the heavyweight division. He's got that one-punch nuclear power, and he's fast. You're dealing with a guy who's an Olympic gold medalist, and he's got vicious knockout power, and he's got immense amount of experience at world-class levels. If you want to show you're legit by taking on 34-year-old Anthony Joshua, one of the scariest fucking heavyweights alive, he's going to be terrifying, and he's going to have a lot to prove. He's going to be very angry that Jake Paul wants to fight him.
Jake Paul is now confirmed to have suffered a broken jaw, damaged teeth, and has already undergone surgery following the fight. And when you rewind the footage, the moment it happened is impossible to unsee. One clean, perfectly timed shot from Anthony Joshua changed everything in seconds. This wasn't a slow breakdown. This wasn't an accumulation of punches. This was raw heavyweight power meeting someone who simply couldn't absorb it. Joe Rogan has talked for years about the difference between real heavyweight force and everything below it. And this fight became the clearest example yet. Joshua didn't need volume. He didn't need chaos. He stayed composed, waited, and when Jake stepped in just a fraction too long, the punch landed flush, snapping the jaw, dropping him hard, and instantly shifting the tone of the entire event.
In my life, I think my jaw is broken, by the way, so yeah. Let's go! It's definitely broke. But, man, that was good. Nice little ass whooping from one of the best to ever do it. So I love this shit, and I'm going to come back and get a world championship belt at some point.
Up until that moment, Jake Paul was confident, comfortable, even. He was trying to work his jab, stay long, prove he belonged. But the second that shot connected, the reality of boxing at the elite heavyweight level came crashing down. And now the conversation has completely flipped. Instead of debating whether Jake Paul belongs in the ring with world champions, people are asking whether this fight went too far. The images after the bout, the surgery update, the confirmation of broken teeth, all of it has reignited the debate around crossover boxing and the risks involved when spectacle meets genuine knockout power.
Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, falling down.
I don't think it will happen, but
Boston
you asked a
Tea
question.
Party.
What was your question?
No, my question is, of course, I know you don't believe that.
Wait, what are you saying?
Boston Tea Party 2.0, fam.
What's a Boston Tea Party? What's a Boston Tea Party?
It's something that happened many years ago. There was some tea that they threw off. It's a long story. It was in Boston.
Yeah.
He's trying to say he's going to knock you out.
Oh, okay. I'm carrying boxing on my back. I've done it with the Ngannou fight, and I'm going to do it again. I understand the expectation. I don't carry it because the expectation I have of myself is already enough, but I understand it, I acknowledge it, and I respect it. But that's about it as far as outside concern about this fight.
Joe Rogan's reaction summed it up perfectly without needing to overdo it. Heavyweights are different. You can be tough, you can be confident, you can train hard. But when someone like Anthony Joshua lands clean, there is no room for error. One punch is enough to end your night. Or worse. What's fascinating now is the stigma that's formed around Jake Paul after the fight. Some fans are giving him credit for stepping in there at all, acknowledging the courage it takes to face a former unified heavyweight champion. Others are far less forgiving, saying this was always inevitable, that boxing isn't something you can fast-track your way through when the physical gap is this extreme.
The reason why people think there's a clause is because they don't understand how Jake's beaten Woodley, Silva, and other people. I think that's what they just can't get their head around. So in short, he's done well to put himself in position, and there is no clause in the contract.
You're not a man who plays with his food.
No, I don't play with my food. No way. If I can hurt you, I'm gonna hurt you, bro. And if you, I'm not even gonna say, but if you hit me once, I'm gonna hit you twice. That's just the game we're in. You know, in boxing, it's a great game because Like, if you watch football, you don't want it to end in the first 10 minutes. You want to watch a full 90-minute football match, soccer match, or NFL match. With boxing, if I can end it in 10 seconds, I'll do it.
AJ, do you think Jake is on your level whatsoever?
No.
No, okay.
Respectfully. Because it's clear. If I say yes, I'm going to be lying to myself, and I can't lie to myself. It's not that he can't compete,
Right.
but when you talk about, for example, music, how many albums I've put out, how many mixtapes I've put out, he just hasn't got the body of work I've got in boxing.
Got you.
Yet, despite the broken jaw, despite the surgery, despite the brutal ending, Jake Paul hasn't gone quiet. The hype hasn't died. The debate hasn't slowed. If anything, it's gotten louder because now people are asking what this loss does to Jake Paul's future. Does he step back? Does he rethink his matchmaking?
Both good. Both have heart. It takes a lot. That ring walk, obviously 1,000 fighters have done it before me, but it's imagine sleeping the night before a big fight, and then you wake up in the morning and you're waiting for that moment when it's time to leave. You get to the change room, you make that walk. I take my hat off to Francis Ngannou because he's ultimately an MMA fighter, and he crossed over into boxing twice. He beat up Tyson Fury and then had a short fight with me, but he walked in that ring twice, credit to him. Then Jake Paul, who has been boxing now for 5 or so years at an elite level, the amount of pressure that's been put on his shoulders, and he's lived up to that pressure. I'm not going to say that they're world-class because in our modern day era, there's maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 Anthony Joshuas that can punch, that can avoid punches, that know what they're doing in the ring. So Jake will struggle at top level, but he has a place in boxing if he wants to stay, in my opinion. So credit to him and his team for getting him this far. Fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you that, Jake, what's going to happen? I'm going to see a time when I'm going to take your soul and you're either going to give up or you're going to get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw tonight, Jake has spirit. He has some heart. He tried his best. And I take my hat off to him because, number one, a lot of fighters haven't got in the ring with me, and Jake did. And secondly, even when he got knocked down, he kept on trying to get up. And I take my hat off to him.
Or does this injury become fuel? Another chapter in the storyline he's built his entire career on? Meanwhile, Anthony Joshua walks away with his reputation reinforced. Calm, professional, dangerous. This wasn't about proving anything. It was about reminding everyone what real heavyweight boxing looks like when it's done right. Joe Rogan's reaction wasn't shock. It was inevitability. This is what happens when worlds collide. This is what happens when hype meets force. And this is why this fight will be talked about long after the jaw heals, because Jake Paul didn't just lose a fight. He learned the hardest lesson boxing has to offer.